Hello YouTube, this is Demar1079 bringing you another World of Warship video from my top 5, I guess, little list that I've been doing. I've done my personal top 5 battleships and top 5 cruisers, and now I will be sharing with you my personal top 5 aircraft carriers. This one may have a more particular order than the other ones do. The other ones I put into place because this is what they're good at. Like, for like the little missions scenarios, like, oh, you need to get Citadel or something like that, or you need to get Torpedo maybe, or Flooding. This is a personal preference to me in actual aircraft carriers, and I will say it now, it is all premium carriers, so if you have them, good. If you don't have them, I'm sorry. Some of these you can get through the Bureau. And first we're taking a look at HMS Ark Royal, a Tier 5 British aircraft carrier, which I've heard back when she was first released during their Halloween update, she was broken. And she is, even though, yeah, she's not as broken as she once was, she is still a good ship to play as. She's got a nice little secondary battery, so a little bit more heavily armed than most of the regular Tier 5s. She carries the iconic Swordfish aircraft, which I believe is the what pretty much sealed the fate of the Bismarck, which I think it was actually from Ark Royal itself. That's where the torpedo came from that sealed her fate. Not 100% sure, don't quote me, but if I am correct, let me know. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. You can see plenty of, I guess, around 5-inch guns and all that. They're standard, like, their version of the Bullfers. I don't know what they are and everything. Yeah. And a little fun fact, she actually sits higher up in the water than the American Essex class carrier, so if you stood them side by side, yeah, a little bit Essex is longer, but she is taller. You can actually jump down from her flight deck onto an Essex flight deck, which is fun. But yeah, this, since she's a tier 5, she is at the number 5 spot, kind of almost for me. So let's go on from there. Number 4 is a Bureau Project ship, and she is one of the littler aircraft that we had many of. USS Saipan. She is built on a Baltimore style hull. I think I was corrected that she was not technically an an escort carrier or a light carrier. She's more of a light carrier instead of an escort carrier, I believe I was told. This was a while back, so I'm not 100% sure. What ranks her above something bigger than, like, say, Ark Royal, who was actually a fleet carrier, it's that her AA gun is better. Granted, she does not have any secondary. These light aircraft carriers carried no secondary armament whatsoever, so not even a 5-inch gun to protect herself. So, in hindsight, you could say that, hey, this ship should be number 5 and not number 4 in your list because, well, they can't protect herself, but Selden Independence, my tier 5 light carrier. What brings her above is, with her torpedo bombers, she shoots 2 torpedoes instead of just 1 torpedo. And since they are the modern torpedoes that American aircraft get later in the war, they are actually quite devastating. So that is why, and you can kind of see it, but you can't really see. You can see 1 torpedo, but she's got another one in her hangar bay and everything. So yeah, if you don't mind, like, you have, like, you know, you're gonna play with some good people, like, they'll go out and cause havoc, but at a certain point they'll come back and protect you with their main guns, whether it be like some of your friends got a cruiser, a destroyer, or even a battleship that can fend off the enemies for you and all that. a good ship to have, and one of the few on this list that you can actually get for free as a premium. Now we're going into my top 3 that I love personally, and this is pretty much in order. Of course, you have to have Enterprise. If you are a Navy lover, even though I like battleships more, I do have to give credit to Enterprise. She held the lines until all the newer Essex class carriers came out. She was the last carrier for a long time in the Pacific once her sister ships and all that were destroyed, and her near sister, I believe it was Hornet, yeah. And much like another ship on my list, she does give good Citadel hits with her dive bombers. She is good torpedo planes as well, and of course she is armored with some 5-inch guns on her deck to protect herself from destroyers and stuff, and loaded with anti-aircraft guns, and plus she has the history of, well, it's the Enterprise. You cannot have a top 5 list without including Enterprise at all. I just think you're wrong if you don't include Enterprise as a top 5 carrier. Granted, if you don't have her, I will give you that. You don't have her, but still, you should give an honor mention saying, hey, if I had her, she would be in the list. But yes, I pretty much did like the Japanese sister ship to Yamato, Musashi, bought her right away. But the Grey Ghost, CV6, the Big E, whatever you want to call her, she is definitely in my top 5, and especially in my top 3 list. Moving on to another carrier that you can get for free as a Bureau Project ship, and that is the Imperial Japanese battleship Kaga. She, for a while, held the top 1 spot in aircraft carriers for me for a long time, just because she had like 3 groups of 4 aircraft until they brought it down to 2 groups of 4, which still, the Japanese torpedo, definitely devastating. And they're fast, and you can get in there relatively quick. She is still a good ship, and she is, well, fairly armed. She got her main batteries and all that, especially those leftover casement mounts from her battleship days that she was designed originally for. Pretty much like any Japanese ship, the torpedoes are definitely heavy hitters, and she have good fire starting bombs and everything. And she is a nice, well designed ship. Much like Enterprise, she has a big amount of history, such as she helped at the attack of Pearl Harbor, she was at the Great Aircraft Carrier Battle of Midway against the Enterprise, where, of course, she blew up. Set. It's pretty much was the end of the Japanese carrier fleet, when all of the best carriers and the best pilots of the Japanese Navy died there. So that was the end of the carrier fleet for them. But yes, much like Saipan, if you're working up Bureau Project ships, she is not like the newer Bureau Projects where you have to have, say, the carriers in order to help the research go along or to go faster. Like you have little stoplight points. You can get her within, well, a year if you're not a carrier person, you really don't play these ships. But if you do, less time. I'm only just roughly saying that because the first one I did was Yamato, and I didn't have a lot of ships to help out with that research, so that's kind of where I say a year. Almost, but yes. Definitely my top 2 ship. I pretty much go to these 3 when I need to, just playing, because they're the most powerful carriers I have. And time for the final carrier, if you have guessed already, it is Graf Zeppelin. a carrier for most people that are just getting into naval history actually did exist. Granted, she did not participate in anything. She was completed, people say, up to 90%, 90, 95%. She even had the air wing finally to her. But she never really saw service at all. Technically, she was moved around, yes, and then captured, sunk, refloated, given to the Soviets, and then shot at by a bunch of missiles, and then sunk, and then later found as a wreck in still semi-perfect condition. Why she's in my top one, she is my number one pick for aircraft carriers if you have or should get, if you're considering aircraft carriers, definitely Graf Zeppelin. She is one, brimming with secondary armament, so she is one carrier you never really have to worry about against destroyers and all that. Actually, destroyers kind of tend to stay away from you and stay only within torpedo range, as you can see with the secondary armament of those casement mount guns in her hull and on top of her. She can shoot out pretty much 7.9, 7.5 kilometers away. Especially if you have her on the starboard side, just run away as a destroyer. You're not winning. Pretty much. You have basically maybe a gun that can go in, maybe a gun inch bigger than her, but you're gonna lose against Graf Spee in a gun battle, surprisingly for something that's not supposed to be in a gun battle. AA defense, lacking, of course, since, well, European ships and any Axis ship doesn't have the best AA defense in all that. She does kind of keep her own when she has her fighter wing up there, but other than that, no. Torpedoes, pretty much, she is number one for me, is because you can pretty much almost get her in point-blank range with her torpedo planes and always hit your target no matter what with her torpedo planes. Granted, you'll lose a bunch, especially since she is a tier 7. You'll lose a bunch, but you will hit a lot more. In her dive bombers, you're always pretty much guaranteed a Citadel hit no matter what. So pretty much if you want to be that guy and go after the weakest ships that you know will be dead within a couple of Citadels, because you're guaranteed at least 2 to 3 Citadels, maybe one on a low end of Citadels, but you're guaranteed Citadels with this ship no matter what. A little bit more than Enterprise, so that's why Enterprise is number 3 and this is number 2. And the torpedoes are more devastating on Kaga, so that's why she's number 2 instead of 1. Like I said, she was number 1 for a long time until I got this ship. I immediately, as soon as I saw her, I bought her. So, Driven, if you're watching this video, yes, I know, I'm a wallet warrior. Quiet. But yeah. So pretty much there. That is my top 5 aircraft carriers. I guess I can give an honorable mention to the other tier 5s, like the Zoom. I'm not gonna try and pronounce her name. And Independence. Pretty much good, but still tier 5, not defending themselves. Those two are my honorable mention, the 2 tier 5. The Independence and the Zuiho. Pretty much, they're pretty much that of light carriers, so yes, they do hurt, but still, don't mess with the full fleet carriers that I've mentioned on my list and all that. But pretty much, that's it. So let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with my top 5 list? Do you have maybe other, like, what would you maybe swap around if you had a choice, if you don't have all premium aircraft carriers like I do? Or if you have all the carriers that I've mentioned in this list, let me know your order. Would you switch it up? Maybe, like, was the top 3 carriers, or all of them? Or what you would replace and all that in the list? Let me know. And pretty much, I want to thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell to notify you anytime that I post a video or go live. And please leave your comments down below and tell me, what do you think? Like I said. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll catch y'all in the next one, and who knows, maybe I'll see you. I have seen a few people that have either watched my streams, or at least on my streams anyway, have been in my battles. Maybe I'll see you on the high seas if I do a live stream or something one day again, or whenever I decide to do another live stream. If you're on and you see it on live, say hi in my comments. As always, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. See ya.